I don't know what you're talking about. I used to get my hair cut here since like age 12. So
you come here a lot.
I come to Vienna all the time. So it's good to be here in Vienna. It's good to be here with you all to support my friend Stella. I'm so thankful you all are out here to help her launch her race. These congressional seats are really critical. They're really important. You know, there's a lot going on that's wrong in our country right now. And in about 2 years, Congress is going to be the first line of defense. And we need to make sure that we have people in office that are prepared, they're battle tested, they're ready, and that they're going to stand up and fight for us, just like the former congressman we had in the 11th district was. I'm happy to be here to support my friend Stella for a lot of different reasons. But first of all, I just want to tell you a little bit about her. First of all, Stella was somebody that would just take on any assignment you want. She's completely fearless. I had a bill I tried to carry a couple years in a row about to allow firefighters and police to use recreational cannabis, and I'll get this one for it. Stella told me she had some interest in that, but I told her the bill would never pass. Stella said she didn't care. She was going to take that bill and she was going to pass it, and she actually did pass it. And the governor actually signed it. One of the bills he did not veto. In the Senate, we also tend to develop an expertise within our caucus. Each of us sort of tend to have our areas that people look to us on. And one of the nice things about having a school board member was that we had somebody who came in who's an education expert. And when we had a lot of turnover, we lost several of our education experts. But Stella knows education policy inside and out. And if you go look at the list of bills that she's carried, fighting for our K-12 students, fighting for higher education, it's been a huge focus of hers, which has been a huge help in our caucus. And she's passed a lot of bills. Just this year she passed, the governor tried to do his little executive order on cell phone policy and tried to pretend like he had something to do with it. People don't realize executive orders in Virginia don't carry any weight at all. They're just sort of like sending a letter to somebody. So Stella actually carried a bill, and she carried a bill to fix all the problems with the governor's cell phone policy. You know, he didn't take into account children's disability, didn't take into account children's age, because, you know, seniors and kindergartners have to use phones for the exact same reason. And Stella actually passed a law that the governor ended up signing that made a lot of sense. And unfortunately, the governor didn't invite her to bill signing, because that's how our governor is. He doesn't like to share credit with anybody, but it was Stella's law that he passed. And we're now going to have a statewide student cell phone policy because of Stella Pekarsky, which is a huge issue, very popular. And the last thing is, who here loves Ticketmaster? So last session, Stella decided another thing she wanted to take on was junk fees. If you all remember, the President Biden made junk fees a big focus of his administration, and of course, all that work is now being undone. But at the state level, we tried to backstop that, and Stella carried a bill last session. It flamed out on the floor in a really interesting way, which was a lot of fun.
I'll talk about it.
Yeah, and Stella was brand new to the legislative process, and she was completely fearless and didn't care. And she came back with that bill the following year, and she passed a bill this year that hold these junk fees people accountable, that makes them disclose the price of things on the front end, so that you see what things cost at the beginning of the transaction, instead at the very end when you're finally getting around to hit and confirm and trying to buy that ticket, the price is doubled. So Stella took on the junk fee guys and actually passed a law about that. So consumer protection is a huge focus of Congress, and given the Trump administration has basically disbanded the CFPB, it's somebody we need in Congress to fight for issues like that for consumers every day. So, why am I supporting her? I'm not a big fan of coronations. I never have been. I want to have somebody in Congress that I can work with, somebody who I think will have the right priorities, somebody who can figure out ways to guess, and not somebody who's going to tell me that nothing works, which is what my relationship is often with different people in different levels of government in Fairfax County. But Stella, on the other hand, is somebody who figures things out and tries to figure out how to get things done. And aside from the fact that she's a fighter, a fearless fighter, okay, she's also, you should have left us alone with all this food up here.
I know.
Wonderful Greek food.
We're going to invite her.
I was about to say she's Greek and great food, but I'm not going to say that. But Stella, I want you to remember, like 4 years ago, the Virginia congressional delegation had 11 members of Congress. We had 4 women in Congress. Okay, today we have 1. Just think about that. I mean, we had this big moment about 8 years ago when we elected Jennifer Wexton, Abigail Spanberger, Elaine Luria in office. and we had 3 women in the Virginia congressional delegation. And then Don McKeeshan passed, Jen McClellan came in, but the other 3 women are now all gone. We need to have a congressional delegation in Virginia that reflects the diversity of our state, which is a little bit female, if you haven't noticed. So, I have to support Stella for that reason as well. And the other thing I'll tell you is that Stella is battle tested. If you want to meet somebody who has had to fight in elected office, somebody's had to deal with let's just say levels of the amount of levels of aggression, that look at somebody who's been on the school board. Okay, 4 years in the Fairfax County School Board that Stella served on was one of the roughest 4 years of any board they've ever had to serve on. How many times do you get sued?
Oh.
But
Every other day.
You didn't notice, you know, the Republicans and especially Governor Youngkin and Jason Mieres have made not just school boards, but the Northern Virginia school boards their political punching bag. You know, Mieres just announced, you know, just the other day that you got the Trump administration do some investigation of some of the work, the good accomplishments that Stella was able to accomplish while she was on that board. And you know, it's not going to stop. But I will tell you that they were on that board.